All right, we're back here for sideboarding. On my side, it's pretty straightforward. I'm just removing some of my removal spells and some of my slower, clunkier threats for more disruption. Cabal Therapy is particularly powerful with Young Pyromancer. Flusterstorm is very good against the Storm mechanic, and Pyroblast gives us some more potential to fight opposing cantrips and break up draws. I could potentially board out all 4 of my lightning bolts, maybe for some like surgical extractions or maybe to keep in some Gurmag anglers, but Storm has the potential to bring in Xantid Swarm. It's a pretty common sideboard card. And also Lightning Bolt can just like shave another turn off the clock, which can be randomly important.
Yeah, definitely. And just the way the games shake out. Oh, it's awkward when you like leave them at 1.
Yeah.
Not a lot of sideboarding from the Storm side. Most matchups, you're really not sideboarding a lot of cards because the main deck is so tight. As Michael mentioned, Xantid Swarm is quite good in this matchup. They have a bunch of counter spells, and if they don't deal with it, like you can just go off at your leisure.
Just easily win on the spot, yeah.
Not having to worry about like dazes and spell pierces on your cantrips is also really nice.
Yep.
And then you can just sort of like use your discard spells to take away their clock too. So Xantid Swarm offers some nice easy wins, and that's why we bring in the Trop. The Trop actually functions here as just an extra land too against the Wasteland deck, rather than bringing out a land like I might do against, say, Miracles.
And the Daze Spellpierce deck.
Again,
just extra lands are awesome.
Are good. And then the Empty the Warrens might not be as obvious. I've essentially swapped it here for the Ad Nauseam. Essentially, what both of these cards do are facilitate some very quick kills and kills from a low base of resources.
Mm-hmm.
But Ad Nauseam frequently just becomes dead by turn 4 or 5 if your opponent has dealt you 6 to 10 damage and you've dealt yourself another 3 to 5 damage. And so that makes this card more of a liability, whereas Empty can... if you empty for 8 or 10 on turn 1, you're usually going to win the game.
Yep.
And even later in the game, just emptying for 20 or so and flashing back a bunch of Cabal therapies is nice.
Usually good enough, yeah, 18 goblins.
Yeah. I've brought out a couple therapies because Xantid Swarm functions in that role of being a protection spell, and I'd rather have the more consistent duress rather than overload on therapies, even though I do have 4 therapies in the main. It's possible I want to trim 1 therapy, 1 duress, but the differences are fairly negligible. The idea is that we're just swapping protection spell for protection spell, big spell for big spell, and then 1 preordain gets cut for the tropical because, again, like Michael's attacking our mana, he's applying pressure, and has Daze, Pierce, Pyroblast, Flusterstorm to deal with our cantrips, so hands that are overloaded on too many cantrips can frequently be too slow, and if he's attacking our mana, usually they're just digging for extra lands, so having extra land there makes sense in the swap. The one card I am not bringing in from my sideboard that may seem like it's quite good in this matchup is Carpet of Flowers. And while it's true that Michael's playing a reasonable number of islands, and sometimes this card can just run away with the game, making 2 mana a turn for 3 turns in a row, it's really unlikely to do that against the Delver deck because they can operate pretty easily on 1 land and then maybe leave a fetch land uncracked to make Carpet worse. And this card is just less explosive against fast mana, so when you draw it off the top, it's not going to be quite as effective as Lotus Petal. It's not going to fill your graveyard for Cabal Ritual and things like that. And it's just another card that makes you want to fetch the Tropical Island, which can be a liability against Wasteland. And so I don't bring in Carpet against Delver decks. And it's a card I've actually not been super impressed with recently. It's very good against Miracles in some matchups, but I might be going down from 3 in future lists of Storm. So just of note, I don't bring in Carpet of Flowers against even blue decks if the matchup's pretty fast.
All right, let's get to the games.
Sweet.
All right, we're back here for game 3. My hand is a really nice mix of basically all the elements I want in this matchup, so I'm going to keep.
I also have a reasonable mix of the cards I want, so I will keep.
Okay, so because we have this and this, I think we're safe to just lead on our Delver, and we can reserve these cards to pick a better spot probably next turn. Post-sideboard, our Underground Sea is a lot more important because of Cabal Therapy, so we're going to get that and play Delver.
Okay, you're 19?
Yep.
Done?
Yep.
Well, that was a funny draw. I'm going to start this turn off by cracking for a basic island. Get Pondering.
Yep, that results.
19 all. Okay. Let's see what we got here. So I like this card for sure, and we're not going to be able to cast this one just yet, so in case Michael has a probe on his next turn, I'll hide that one. So put them back like this. I will probe you, go into 17.
Okay, that resolves. Because Daze is our only real piece of disruption besides Cabal Therapy, I don't think hiding the information is as important as just having an additional piece of protection.
Yep. Lotus Petal?
That's not good. Yeah, it resolves.
Lotus Petal?
Yep.
Lotus Petal?
Yep.
Lotus Petal?
Sure.
MP the Warrens for 14?
Yep.
uh,
Whatever.
My draw step was the 4. Yeah, we'll see.
Well, I'm dead. Magic's fun.
You can daze one of the copies, maybe the 12.
I'm off it.
You do have 14 goblins, so you can go.
Trigger Delver. I'm dead. I can't win.